I'll give someone what I want in return, like the physical touch. Like if I feel down, I want someone to do that same thing, like you said. Like get over here, let me give you a hug and shit. That's
Hmm.
the same thing. And I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
give hugs out like that, but still,
Well,
yeah.
that's kind of like why for you it might be like all the more meaningful a statement. But if someone isn't in a place to like really think about it, because they're fucked up, they're not thinking in like abundance. They're not like, oh yes, like I have so much, like that's so great that this person, excuse me, this person may provide this thing for me, right?
Hmm.
When I need it, like when you feel like shit, like sometimes they're just like, get off, like that's not what I need. I need to just be here with me. I don't even need you really to talk to me. And it's like a weird thing. Like it's almost like if you're mad, like if you're really, really mad, or like like where you're just like crying, but like you're not like ugly crying, just like
Yeah.
tears are coming down your face, you know what I mean? Like that kind of mad. And you like pick somebody up and like you're not ready to talk about it. You just need them to sit in the fucking car for a second while you're driving.
Yeah, you just need someone around.
It's just like, no, we're gonna talk about this, but like for a second, I just need you to just be there.
Yeah.
You know,
Let me figure
it's
out how
kind of
I want to start the conversation.
it's like that.
Yeah.
You know, but so often we overlook that role, and I don't know. Like I just kind of look at life and like I feel like I fucked that up sometimes because sometimes when people come to you, like they may be needy in one area and
Mm.
want to receive something in one way, and you may be needy in like another area, and they conflict. And you may be trying to be the bigger person. You may be trying to really give this love and like be there for this person, but the way it just conflicts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It doesn't mesh
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. You know what's inconvenient about having a big nose, bro? We be going to drink some shit. Like sometimes I be going to drink some shit, and I realize I gotta tilt my head back. I don't be seeing other people tilt their head back when they go to drink some shit. You know what I mean? Like my nose be like, no,
Eh.
not about to happen.
I tilt my head back.
It's a toughie.
I don't
Let
think I
me
have a
tell
big
you.
nose, but I tilt my head back to drink.
I don't think my nose is like ridiculous big, but it's like it definitely stick out.
Yeah, I don't think your nose is too like fucking
It's not
ridiculous.
disproportionate. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it ain't full on honker. You know
It's
what I
not
mean?
yeah,
But
it's
like
not a
if I
honk.
turn sideways, like I do got some shit going
You,
on
you
right
got
here.
some size. You got some size
Yeah,
there.
you know what I'm saying? I know it's not like one of them like cute little like button noses,
Yeah.
like it's a prominent nose. But that's okay. That's my grandfather's nose. You're
You're this is
the Don.
generational nose right here. That's
That's the
funny.
Don right there. Huh?
That's
Hey, I don't
great,
know
dude.
why older women love my nose, bro. It's the Roman nose. That's
I
what they
think I
say.
think they know what the nose really does.
Yeah, that's that clip play, son.
Exactly.
And it's like it's ergonomic and shit.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
all rounded off. I don't have the jagged like Owen Wilson shit. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
not like crooked and shit.
Yeah, bro.
There you go.
There's levels to shit, bro. But I'm telling you, like, back to what I was talking about earlier, like looking at the way that people assess different things, like step by step by step by step, um, like little micro movements,
Yeah.
making a huge difference. Is really something that you can get into when you're like when you're looking at shooting and things of that nature, bro. That's just like fascinating. It's almost like in golf, right? Because in golf, you're trying to hit a golf ball so far. So it's like if you really like shift just 2 millimeters, right? You have a completely different stroke.
A different endpoint, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because you take it over distance. And like if you apply these principles to life, if you make those little micro adjustments and then you take it out over distance, that's when you're gonna see that, like, drastic change in your game,
For sure.
you know? And I
Yeah.
think shooting is just one of those things that puts that, like, right in your face, and you recognize it when you go to shoot because, like, you can be, like, I don't know, like, 10 yards, 7 yards, 5 yards from a target and still not hit all dead center every fucking time. You know what I mean? Especially when you add speed to it.
Yeah.
And so like you start looking at it and you're like, oh, all right. There's levels to the shit. Now, if you were shooting at like a man-sized target, like, you know,
You could be pretty accurate for the most part.
yeah, but when you're really like getting down to like the nitty-gritty of things, like there's levels to shit, and it really starts at that small foundational um movement, that you may take for granted in the process, step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting fascinated in like rediscovering learning, because I didn't realize, and this is something that I'm yet to study, but I'm interested in, what trauma does to the brain, especially like concussions and shit, bro. Because I've had a lot of concussions and like vicious head traumas in my
Like
life,
physical trauma
Yeah, yeah,
or trauma
like
in general?
physical. Kind of A and B, because nothing happens in a vacuum, and I've also been through like a lot of like real
Mental
life
shit.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I help so many different people and have chosen to do that. Because I've been in the place to do that, and sometimes I wasn't. I was just like, but I think if you're put in a situation, you're meant to be there.
Yeah.
Like you're not there by accident, so you might as well try to make yourself useful. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And like I'm doing my real estate schooling, and there's different ways that people learn. Like I'm much better learning if I'm able to talk to somebody about it. That's why I prefer in-person learning rather than like just being on the computer like yes, A B C flashcard.
Yeah. It's
You know what
self-taught
I
type
mean?
shit. That's really what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
um but I've been sitting here and it's like this beginning of this schooling and learning all the terminology and the law and shit like that, bro. I'm like, my brain must have been like rattled around because I'm telling you, like, I used to learn shit way, way fast. Like I read it and I know it. Like I can regurgitate it verbatim almost.
Yeah.
Um, but like learning this has like been a humbling experience because it like I had to reset and restructure my life and be like, yo, have I just completely like has my brain been so fucked up and like rewired by what I've been through that like it's hard for me to learn, and it's made me look at other people that go through and have like what they would be diagnosed as like a learning disability or something. Like when I was in high school I met so many of my, like a lot of my friends were in the fucking slow class, you know
Yeah.
a lot of them. And they're
Yeah.
not slow, you know what I mean? Like they're smart and they're funny and shit, but like they just had a hard time learning in a certain kind of way, you
Yeah.
know? And I wonder, I'm like, is this because like their lives were full of like traumatic shit that they had to like digest at a young age? Because I know I've been through some shit, but
Well, dude, I'm kind of like
there's
in the same boat as you on the ability to learn. Like for me, reading, I have such a hard time, or for you right now, anyways, I have such a hard time reading, um, and staying concentrated. Cause like what I'll do is I'll read something and then like a sentence, and then I'll think about it, but I'll still be reading.
yeah,
And so my brain will get caught up on one particular piece of the text, and then I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck I just read. So now I gotta like reread it again, and it happens again and over. But if there's someone like talking it through to me, it's a lot easier for me to understand and conceptualize it rather than just
yeah.
fucking reading the text.
I have a question though. Is that different for you if you're if you're like reading a story, like
I think it's worse when I'm reading a story.
really?
Because when I'm reading a story, I'm also visualizing the story happening in my head. And I'm creating the characters in my head and creating those interactions while I'm reading it. And then when something's happening, I'm like, something crazy happens in the story, and I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. Now I'm fucking. I wonder how that's gonna play out. I'm still reading. I'm halfway down the page, and I haven't received any of the words I've been reading because I'm still thinking about what's at the top of the page.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's interesting because for me, I feel like if you put into a story form, like, and you contextualize it using like people,
yeah,
I can get it. But if it's like just material by itself, like I may do it what you kind of do and highlight in my brain a cool sentence or a cool word. But what I'll generally do is I'll be like, I wonder what that word means, and I'll try and like fill in the blank context wise. And then if I'm like, I'm still curious, because I like to rap and stuff. So I'll look up the definition of the word. So I'll sometimes it can take me for fucking ever to read books. Like that's why I don't read those big ass books because I'm always looking up words. You know what I mean? Like I remember there's a book by Phil Knight, the dude that started Nike,
mm-hmm.
and it's called Shoe Dog. There are so many fucking words in that book that I had not known. I'm still like, I swear I stopped like three-quarters of the way through that book or something. Like, I was really into it for a second. He went to like Japan and I was like reading all that stuff. But I don't know.
Dude, I'm
I got
reading a
lost.
nutrition book right now that's kind of the same way. Like I'm able to kind of figure it out. Like there's
Mhm.
because in the fucking just in science in general, there's so many words that are so similar. So like just an example is like hypocaloric and hypercaloric. And they're one each, it's not hyper space caloric, that's one word. And so when you read them, they're very similar. And so like I'll be reading and it'll say hyper, but I read hypo. And I'm like, fuck, that doesn't make any sense. Now I gotta look back. Oh, it's hyper actually. And I'm
Okay,
like,
give me the definition, the difference between those two. Can't say I
so
know that offhand.
hypercaloric is when you have a surplus of calories. So like if you're trying to gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
Isocaloric is when you're just maintaining your weight, so it's like a normal amount of calories. And then hypocaloric is when you're under eating, so you're in a deficit.
Okay.
Yeah.